What's going on, everybody? It's your favorite host, Kennii, and you're tuned in to Kennii Live. Today, as a guest on the show, I have Season 12 contestant of the hit show, The Voice, Dawson Coyle. Welcome, Dawson.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so happy you were able to be here. So, Dawson, tell me where your whole singing career started.
It started about 6 years ago, where I was taking some guitar lessons at my homeschool co-op, and they needed 3 singers for the closing program, and only 2 people raised their hand. So I was forced to raise my hand by my mom, and so I sang on the stage in front of all the families, and I was terrified, and it was really shaky. It was really bad, but since that day, I kind of fell in love with music, and I knew that's what I wanted to do with like the rest of my life. So I started doing some vocal lessons for a few months, and then from there off, the next 5 years were all self-taught. And I would do coffee houses and like some open mic nights, and that led into opening up for some bands, and then me being the headliner, and everything just kind of staircased up. And it's been such an amazing journey, and I've learned so much over the years, and it's been so much fun. The Voice has been like the greatest experience ever.
So what actually made you want to audition for The Voice? What triggered that?
Well, I actually didn't. I had people telling me, like friends and family and random people, that I should audition, and I never wanted to. I never had a desire to, because I'm not really a competitive person. So I just kind of, I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. It was always like one of those bucket list dreams that, you'd sit there watching the show and you're like, oh man, I wish that was me. I wish I could be there. And but I never really saw that possible. I never really saw that happening. But one day I got an email from The Voice, and I thought it was like a spam, like fake thing. But they emailed me, and they were like, we saw your cover of Let It Go by James Bay with your friend Lane Simpkins on YouTube, and we want you to skip open calls and come right to the callbacks from New York City. So I felt like that was God kind of opening that door and that possibility for me, and I was like, I'm not going to let this this opportunity pass by. So I went to New York City, and I went to the callbacks, and it just started spiraling from there. And I'm so happy that I went, because none of this would have happened if I didn't.
Right, and you're only 18 years old, correct?
Yeah.
And most 18-year-olds are getting ready, to graduate high school and go off to college, but you just finished being a contestant on one of the biggest shows on TV right now. Like, how do you wrap your mind around that?
I can't wrap my mind around it. It's seriously like the biggest blessing ever, and I'm running with this as long as I can. I just graduated high school. I'm not really pursuing college at this moment. I'm going through the doors that God's opening for me right now, and that's music. I mean, it's just been an amazing ride, and God's been providing for me and my family, and I just want to keep running with this, but I can't wrap my mind around it. It's so insane.
Yeah, I can imagine. So on the show, originally you were with Blake, on Blake's team, and Alicia Keys stole you from him. Like, what were you thinking at that moment? Were you thinking it was over, or, how did you feel that you got that second chance with her?
Yeah, well, honestly, Blake was my last choice. If I had to make a choice, I didn't want Blake, because I'm not a country music artist. I don't like country music that much. And so I got Blake, and I was thankful for it. I wasn't upset about it. But, once Aaliyah Molden won, I was so happy for her. But, I was kind of like, all right, it was kind of a quick ride, but it was fun. And it wasn't just like she stole me right away. No, like I had to get off of stage. I had to hug Blake Shelton goodbye.
Yes.
So,
right.
And I was hugging Blake, and then I heard the buzzer, and I actually didn't know who hit the button. So I actually asked. I was like, wait, who did that? And then Alicia she stood up, and I just I was crying. I was so ecstatic, because Alicia is who I wanted, number one from the beginning. So,
wow.
I hugged her. I was like, thank you so much. And that was the happiest I've ever been on that show.
So do you still keep in touch with the contestants or with Alicia or anybody? on the show?
Yeah, not with the coaches. I wish they're super busy. But no, I stay in touch with all the contestants. Chris Blue, I'm so happy for him that he won, and he's like a big brother to me.
You always talk about faith and blessings, and you always see God in everything that you do. And how do you feel like that contributes to where you are today?
Well, I feel like that contributes everything. Without God, I wouldn't be here. And, I thank him every day for opening those doors and those opportunities since, I was 12 years old. Because he's just been providing for me more opportunities to kind of get out there and, spread his word. And, I thank him every day for it. And without God in my life, I definitely don't feel like I'd be where I am right now.
Yeah, definitely. And it's really big of you to say that. Most, a lot of teenagers are scared to publicly thank him or, show their affection towards him. And, you just do it so openly, and I commend you for that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So you just released your first album, Battle Cry.
Right? Yeah.
Tell me where your inspiration came from for your album.
Well, March 3rd of last year, me and my parents had a house fire, and we lost pretty much everything in the fire. And now we're living with my mom's parents, my Nana and Papa, and we've been living here for about a year now. And I had some songs that I wrote, under my belt, but I kind of I locked myself in the back room at my grandparents' house, and I just kind of had to process everything that was happening in my life. And in that time, I saved my guitar, thank God. And I was able to just I started writing some more songs. I was like, God, what do you want me to do? And he was like, just write and release. So I started writing so much music. And I got it, and I ended up going to Guitar Center. I bought some $500 worth of recording equipment. And I set it up in a room in my grandparents' house. And I started recording. I started learning how to record. I spent 10 hours on YouTube just learning how softwares work and how editing and producing, and I taught myself how to produce an album. And I ended up recording 10 of my original songs. And it's called Battle Cry because I want Christians to stand up for their faith. My song The Light's Battle Cry, it's the title track of the album. It basically states that I'm sick and tired of watching Christians be sleeping Christians, and they just sit there, watching the world burn. And I want more Christians to stand up for their faith and to fight for what they believe in. So that's kind of the inspiration of the album. And I have the artwork on my album of me on the piece of broken glass around fire, and it's just kind of a representation of what I've been through in my life.
Wow, that's really inspirational, and that goes to show you nobody can make any excuses because you definitely used what you had, the resources you had, and did it yourself. Wow.
Yeah.
So, what's your favorite song on the album?
My favorite song on the album, it's Getting Dark, just because of the work that went into that song. It's got 20 layers to it, and it's kind of like a story because nearing the end of the song, in the bridge, I created this demon persona, where I started singing to this demon and kind of shutting him down and shutting him out, and it kind of really shows not letting the dark get the best of you, and it's kind of, I don't know, I really like this song.
Everyone, where you can purchase your album.
Yeah, you can purchase my album on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your music.
Thank you so much for talking with me and letting me know a little bit about you, Dawson.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Kennii Live. You can check out the interview on KenniiLive.com, KenniiLive.com, and stay bold, beautiful, and bossed up. And thanks. I'll see you guys next time.